So I watched K-pop Demon Hunters, and wow, yeah, that movie is phenomenal. But as an artist, I couldn't stop noticing the insane amount of lessons that we can take from every single shot of that movie to plus our figure drawing. And there are 3 tips in particular that can make our skills golden. So now I want to show you how it's done. The first tip that we can take from Demon Hunters is the foreshortening. And there is a ton of this principle in this movie, and not only as an animator but also as a viewer, it has been a real delight to see it. It made the action scenes so much better. But what is it? Well, foreshortening is basically an illusion. It's like magic. It is turning 2D in 3D, playing with perspective and proportions to make the character come towards us or away from us, even if you're looking at a 2D surface like a piece of paper or a screen in this case. This is one of the best examples of foreshortening in art history. You can see how apparently the figure is coming towards us and receding away from us in space, and this is achieved with a masterful use of proportions and perspective. You can see, for example, how the body is getting shorter and shorter the more it's turning away from us. The result of this effect is that our figures will pop and we will feel way more into the scene, into the action. And this is why in Demon Hunters this principle works so well in my opinion, because this movie is packed with action scenes where the animator pushed so well this wide-angle camera feeling to make us more part of the action. Now look at these examples. Notice how the upper body seems further back in space, getting shorter and smaller, while we feel that this kick is coming towards us, even if we are looking at a 2D screen. Same principle is applied here. This foot is as big as the whole upper body, for example. And just look at how big the blade is compared to the whole body. And this not only gives depth to the shot, but also helps us direct our eyes to the main focus. Same thing in this shot. Look at how much foreshortening there is in the body. You can feel it. And also here, look at the extreme foreshortening of this sword. You cannot even see how long it is, you can just see one plane, one face of it. Now here we are talking about 3D characters in a 3D space, of course, but this principle is also great when you're drawing your figures. It is a quite challenging principle to put into practice because it requires at least a basic understanding of perspective. Needless to say, I still struggle with it a lot. I always tend to draw my figures very flat, which makes them very boring in my opinion. But one technique that helped me so much with it is starting to think about the whole figure and the different parts of the body as solid shapes. Just to simplify things. So how can you get better at it? Well, the exercise that I do very often is to take a solid shape. It could be a cylinder, it could be a cube, and turn it in space, in every possible direction, and do pages over pages of this exercise. I got so much better at it just by doing this. Another technique that helped me so much to render foreshortening is to wrap some lines around the body to show if the figure is coming towards or away from us. And these wrapping lines can be construction lines, or if you are talking about a finished piece, there could be even pieces of clothing like belts, bracelets, like in this case. Now I know that foreshortening does require a bit of practice, and I still have to do a lot of it, but can really make your figures pop as opposed to a simple and boring flat pose. So take inspiration for this from this movie. Second lesson from Demon Hunters is the simple versus complex principle. This is a very important principle that often gets overlooked by many. It says that when you divide the body in two sides like this, to have a visually balanced and interesting figure, one side should be more simple with more direct, longer lines and less detail, while the other side should be more complex with more details, bumps, shorter lines, and you want all the important stuff happen on this more complex side. And this is because the audience will naturally focus on the side where the complexity is, where the stuff is happening, because their eyes will have a lot more to look at, while they will quickly flow through the other side. The best way to think about it is to compare it to a pinball machine. When the ball gets launched upwards, it goes very fast, but to come down it will take a lot more time, it will stop, it will bounce back, etc. And this is the same thing that happens to the viewer where this principle is used correctly. And this is definitely the case of this movie. All the poses are so well designed. Here, for example, eyes will go very fast through this side, also helped by the air design, but then they will stop on the other side where the action is. Basically, the animators want you to focus on this direction, where also Rumi is looking. Same thing for this other pose of Rumi. One very simple side where the eyes don't waste so much time, and then complex side where all the fun, all the action is. Exact same thing on this very famous train scene. Look at Mira in this case. Simple side versus complex side. So my suggestion is think about this principle when you are designing your poses, when you are doing your figure drawing, your gesture drawing, to make your audience focus where you want. Okay, third and final tip, complementary lines of action. Now, I have already talked about the importance of the line of action in my previous breakdown from the bad guys, so I don't want to bore you any further with that. Just know that the same applies here. These animators are masters in using the line of action to make everything more dynamic, more appealing, more fluid. I mean, just look at this. But this time I want to bring your attention to the secondary lines of the body that support the main line of action. These lines create all sorts of dynamic angles to make the pose more organic, more fluid. Like here, you have a main long line of action and another complementary line given by the arm. The secondary line complements the pose and gives a clear focus for the audience. It completes the story of the pose. And this is also very important in gesture drawing, for example. Another tertiary line you can find here is the angle of the hips. And you might notice that it has the opposite angle compared to the line of the arm and the shoulders. This is a principle called Contrapposto, and it was widely used by Michelangelo. You can spot it in his David. The line of the shoulders and the line of the hips have opposite angles. And this creates this very nice, very natural, flowy S-line through the whole body. So keep this principle in mind when you're drawing your next figure, right from your gesture drawing phase. But let's see another instance where the contrapposto is used to make the main action more clear, more dynamic. Basically here the contrapposto helps to open the pose to that side, where all the action is. But secondary lines are also so important to frame the main focus, especially in this movie where you have so many beautiful choreographies. Here, for example, the main lines of action help us bring our eyes at the center, and the secondary lines of the arms frame our focus even further. Demon Hunters is a phenomenal movie, so go watch it on Netflix, and this is not sponsored by the way, and watch it twice. The first time just to get lost in the story, and the second time paying attention to all these principles and thinking about how they can help you in your figure drawing. I promise you, you will get better. So let me know in the comments what this sounds like, and also if you found other lessons from this movie. I really cannot wait to learn from you. Now, I will do a lot more of these figure drawing breakdowns from animated movies, so be sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss them. And actually, as a matter of fact, I already done one that you can find it here, and I will see you on my next step.